Welcome to my therapy room, the first of its series. Now, Jamaicans have been locked down for 3 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, actually 4 days, and today, Monday. Saturday, we got a break in terms of movements were allowed from the hours of 5:30 a.m. until midday. And so it is important to understand what are the thought process that is going through the mind of persons. And so I am here thinking, what exactly Shamona, how are you? I am here thinking, what exactly is going on in the minds of Jamaicans, but not only Jamaicans, persons all over the globe who are experiencing lockdowns. So how do we handle lockdowns? Very important that we look at that. I believe that handling a lockdown is dependent on our personality type. And so you have two different types of personality. You have persons who are introvert and persons who are extroverts. And so I'm going to look at the lockdown in relation to that. A number of persons who are dealing with quarantine issues have been experiencing depression, but some are not, and it is dependent on their personality type. So what am I saying? Persons who are introverted are persons who don't really like to be around people a lot. They don't have a lot of friends. They like to be in their own space. They like to just be by themselves. They like to chill by themselves. They are able to enjoy their own company. So a quarantine, a lockdown may not affect them, right? But those persons who are extroverted are the ones who are really affected by a quarantine experience or a lockdown experience. Why? Because they are persons who can, yes, Viveka, thank you. They are persons who can deal with, who have friends, who are able to socialize, and they like communalness. I mean, I think I fit in both the introverted extroverted role. So I like the whole aspect of community. I like to see my neighbors. I like to be able to talk to my neighbors. But at times I like my own quiet space. So I think that I can fit into, good night, Tanisha. I think that I can fit into the both categories, like the introvert and extrovert. I think I am more extroverted, but I don't. The quarantine affects me because I am able to enjoy my own company and be, by myself. But persons who are extroverted are severely impacted by the quarantine experience. Why are they impacted by the quarantine experience? Because they are not able to socialize. Social contact means a lot to them. So they are not able to socialize with their friends. They are not able to see family. They are not able to have family time, and they thrive on those things. They are not able to go out partying. They're not able to go to the movies. And so they are affected mostly by the quarantine. So, what are some of the tips that they can do to help themselves to deal with a quarantine experience? Now we have a lot of technology, so they can use WhatsApp, they can FaceTime family members, they can FaceTime friends, they can set up games night, using mediums like Zoom, Ring Central, WebEx, whatever medium you use to engage people via technology. They can use Skype, they can use Instagram, they can use Facebook Live or their own Facebook page, you know, to create an atmosphere or context where they can still socialize with persons and feel like Alice and feel like they're actually in a physical space with the person. So yes, you're seeing the person, you may not be there to bounce them or to lean on them, and then we can't do much of that anymore because of social distancing. But I am saying that it is very important that we try to create strategies so that we can deal with the whole quarantine experience. Now, a number of persons have been asking me to do lives as it relates to, quarantine and other issues that are happening in our culture and globally. So, of course, I really think that it's important to have like this therapy room experience where persons can come and they can ask questions and your questions can be answered as you make your comments, and we can look at what is really happening when persons go through a quarantine experience or a lockdown experience. Now, when you look at the Jamaican context, I mean, this lockdown experience have impacted a number of persons. And so when you look at the persons who live from hand to mouth or day to day, they really were impacted mostly by the lockdown experience. Because what you find happening is that persons will have to leave their houses now to go out to kind of feed these persons or give them food to eat. But I have also have had first-hand experience where persons who are locked down, like senior citizens, would have left their homes to come to get a meal or to get something to eat. Right, so you realize that not everybody is able to store up and to take care of themselves during a lockdown experience. So, again, what are some of the things we need to do from a community perspective? I think we have to seek out those senior citizens or persons who don't have help or family members to give them anything, and we can reach out to them from an individual approach or from the approach of the church or other community organizations so that we can ensure that when a lockdown occur, persons have food to eat. Very, very important. I have seen firsthand a number of senior citizens coming out of their homes to get food to eat, come and ask persons for a meal. And that is actually sad. I think it is sad. But it shows that when we are having lockdown, we have to put plans in place, I mean, proper plans in place to deal with a lockdown experience so that persons that are less fortunate are able to be comfortable during the lockdown experience. I have also seen that having the lockdown experience and giving a breather in and of itself is not really much a good strategy in helping to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Why am I saying that? Good evening, because when you look at a day like Saturday that was given to persons to go and shop between the hours of what I would say the 5 a.m. to the midday, it was chaotic. So you had crowds in the supermarkets, you had crowds again in the market areas as people are trying again to get food. Because then again, you have persons who were not able to store up from a Thursday to last them for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a Monday. Some persons would have been able to store up food like from Thursday to Friday, and then they may get some access. I mean, during Saturday to probably go to a machine to get some money, and then now they are able to store up food again to last them until Monday. And so we realize that in talking about the quarantine experience, we realize that even though the aim of our governance or our government is to protect us and to keep us as safe as possible, at times some of the things that are implemented are not necessarily good strategies, right? But at the same time, they are trying their best to see how much they can preserve life and to keep us as safe as possible. So, some of the things that persons may experience during a quarantine is some of them may go through a period of depression, right? Because they are really sad. So we're talking about adults, but we're also talking about children. Children can go through depression as well because they are not able to see their friends. I mean, even the own homeschooling can actually bring them into a state of depression because they can be tired of just going online and taking online classes, and it can become frustrating for them And so when we look at the whole depression, we are dealing with everybody. So children are actually experiencing some form of depression from a quarantine experience, as well as their parents. And parents are frustrated because they themselves may not be able to assist the children, because they may not have the necessary skills, they don't have knowledge of subject areas, and so they are not able to assess and assist their child. And so that in and of itself can breed frustration and can bring some sense of depressed mood because they don't know what to do again. And so another thing that can happen during the quarantine experience is the depression of parents and the frustration can lead to child abuse. Yes, it can. It can lead to physical abuse and verbal abuse of children. Because when the parents get frustrated, they will either take out the frustration on the child, they can slap the child, they can say things to the child that can affect them from an emotional standpoint. And so that in and of itself can also crush the child. So there we see a lot of frustration coming out into a quarantine experience where parents are experiencing frustration because they are not able to cope. And then with them not being able to cope, they also, you know, turn over on their child. Typical Jamaican term. Turn over upon them, pity them. Take out the stress on the children, them, right? And so again, we have to look at different coping methods to help persons as they go through a quarantine experience. And I believe that we as a people and globally will be experiencing a number of quarantine experiences. I mean, we are going to have other lockdowns because if the numbers are not going down, and if any other thing, any other spike come up with any other strain in this virus, we have to embrace ourselves for the lockdown. So I want us to condition our mind that the lockdown is now becoming a new norm for us. It's going to be a new norm for us, right? As a people. And globally, it has become a new norm. So we have to just kind of now work ourselves into it and try to adapt to it and try to put the necessary, methods or mechanism in place so that we can deal with the quarantine experience. Yes, Tanisha, I think I see you saying that you have also tried to give to the less fortunate. This is good that we always reach out to the less fortunate because we have a number of children who are not going to school. They don't have the gadgets, they don't have the resources. Some houses may only have one gadget in there, right? And they may that household may have at least four children who are in school, and possibly a parent who is also in school, a parent who is studying. And so that one phone or that one tablet is being circulated, through five hands. So five persons are trying to get access to use this one tablet. And that also can become frustrating. So you can see that a number of children may be left behind during the quarantine experience. Now, a question that have come to me, and this is just my personal view on it, from an educational standpoint, is what will happen to those children who are left behind? Well, a critical question that. And the another suggestion that has been made, I've heard several persons saying it, why not why not repeat the year for children in school? You know, these are some thought process, and this is a question that have come. Now, to be truthful, it may be difficult to repeat a year in school because not all children are being left behind. So we have to be very, very, frank. So what you find happening is that those who are from the upper strata of society, right, they will be able to give their child the resources or their children the resources so they can access online learning. And so their child or children are actually learning. They are in school, they are doing the work, they are learning, right? And so it wouldn't be fair to repeat an entire year, and for those persons who actually learn and have learned and are able to complete assessment, right? School term assessment, it wouldn't be fair for them to be held back. Now, what about the children who don't have the resources and are not actually getting quality time from the educational standpoint? So they're not getting quality time from school. They are not able to access materials. I mean, when you think about those children, I would recommend that the government put something in place, or the education ministry put something in place for these children. What am I recommending? Either some programs for them that they are mandated to be in these programs, even if they transition them to an upper grade. So they are placed in an academic intervention program where they are mandated to be at that program, where within that program, the curriculum for the previous grade will be reviewed, and when the curriculum is reviewed during that period, then they will be going over materials that they would have missed during that time. So what will be happening is that this child will be running concurrently in two grades. So they'll be actually covering some of the missed lessons in the grade four curriculum while they are completing the grade five curriculum. It may sound difficult for some persons because we're going to look at what would happen then for special needs person, and that would be another time when I come back to the therapy room. What would happen for special need persons? What will happen for children with deficit? What will happen for children with learning disabilities? These are some of the questions that will be running through my mind, and maybe running through your thoughts as well, as I present this intervention approach where we are running the grades concurrently. So the students are going through the grade four curriculum while they are placing grade five, and they are going through the grade five curriculum at the same time. Now, it is not as easy as it sounds, because you will have to have the teachers. So the teacher for the grade four will have to be meeting with the students maybe after class to review the grade four curriculum, while the teacher for grade five will have them during the day and trying to execute the grade five curriculum. Or maybe it could have been done vice versa. They remain in grade four, but they are doing the grade five curriculum in the afternoon. And so that will take them up to a place where they are able to um, integrate both information and be prepared for grade six. That can be a strategy that the government can use to facilitate students who may have missed a lot of work because they do not have the resources to access work or access classes online. But it would not be fair to really ask persons to repeat a grade, all persons to repeat a grade, when you have some persons who are actually doing the work. They actually at school and doing the work and enjoying online learning because all the relevant resources are provided for them. And when I think about this, it just brings me back to my mother's time when they were in school, and that would probably be in the 50s, where only the elite had access to education. And I'm not bashing the elite, but this is where we may see Jamaica going back to where the elite may be accessing education only, right? Because those who are below, at the lower end of the society, at the lower strata of the society, do not have the resources to get education. Because what we see in it, what am I projecting for the next 3 years for Jamaica? I am projecting that Jamaica is going to have a serious literacy problem. A number of children who are not able to read. We are going to have children with poor critical thinking skills and analytic skills because they were not given the opportunity to grasp. They would have missed out on a number of elements and a number of concepts that would have trained their cognitive process to think critically and to analyze concepts, right? That is what I am projecting for the next 3 years. And this is just my personal projection based on my observation from what I'm seeing with the whole issue of the school context. right? So, what am I saying to us as we come to the therapy room? The therapy room is here to look at all different kinds of issues and challenges that persons are going through. And one of the main one, I am saying to you now that a lot of parents are frustrated. I am saying to you is that a number of parents are also going through depression. I am saying that a number of children are actually going through depression as well because they miss social contact with their friends, they miss social contact with teachers. Yes, they're seeing them online, but it's different because if you look at my videos on child developmental stages, whether it be infancy, early childhood, middle to late childhood, adolescence, you will see that children need play, they need social interaction, they need time together with their peers because it helps them to develop both emotionally and academically. It really helps to stimulate their minds. So we are having a context now where our children are really what I would call they have become what I would think all of us may are becoming to some sense of like being a prisoner in your own home. And being a prisoner in your own home now, you will have to put in things in place so that you can deal with that. A number of people can't handle that, especially if you're extroverted. It is going to be difficult for you to handle that. A number of persons who are introverted, and maybe some of them are even on this life, they are good to go. They don't like to have people around them. It's neither here nor there. They are good with being by themselves. They love their own company. They enjoy their own company. They love silence. They don't even like to hear voices of people. And they are good. They are really good, right? So even as I come to the therapy room, I can tell you about even my own experience. The quarantine experience has really not been difficult for me, in all fairness, based on the things that I have to do, the activities that I participate in, and the things that I have to do, right? I kind of miss sometimes going out, and having like family times with my family where we can all come together in a space and just have a good time and a good laugh. I have had a couple of that on Sunday afternoons where my sisters and I will meet together to have meals and stuff like that. For the past couple of weeks, we are not able to do that because we are on a Sunday lockdown, you know. But again, we can talk with each other on the phone. And again, for those of us who may have access to get to church, we may be able to see some of our family members, depending on how many of, how many of us are allowed to be in church services. So I am able to kind of combat the whole issue of not getting depression, not feeling down because I can call a friend, I can talk to my friends. I get a lot of calls from persons I have engaged, persons who are not coping well with the quarantine. I mean, I've sought out my advice. And then because of the nature of my job, I don't think I am really affected much by the quarantine. I mean, I am glad that I can still call to my neighbor over the wall and have a conversation with them, and I feel good about that, right? I am never somebody who really love the streets and like to be on the road, Jamaican term, the road. So I mean, it's not really an issue for me that I'm not able to go on the street. Again, I'm not somebody who like to drive up and down. I like to be chauffeur driven, right? So I don't really like much of a driving on the road, even though I drive. So again, it's not a big deal for me. But I can understand for persons who really like to just go out, the party poopers, those who really like to enjoy themselves and enjoy friends. I really can understand. As I stated earlier, put in place things, right? Try to engage your friends on the various, medias that we have. We have so many today that are available to us. Try and create, be creative and do activities and fun things and games with your friends online. Try and keep in touch. Try and talk to persons. And if you feel depressed, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. Don't just stay to yourself because it is not good to stay in a depressed mood. Because if you stay by yourself and stay in a depressed mood, you are likely to go into severe depression that can lead to suicide ideation. And we don't want any of that right now. We don't want our country or even globally, we don't want that because persons can't deal with the quarantine experience. They have become hopeless and they are taking their lives. So I am recommending that you reach out to persons, you reach out to family, you reach out to your friends so that you're able to deal with their quarantine experience. So that is it for this evening for my therapy room. I have announced the therapy room on Facebook, and the therapy room will be held live on a weekly basis as we look at what is involved in a quarantine experience, how people are feeling, and how they should cope as they go through a lockdown experience. So that is it for my therapy room this evening. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned next week as we come back to the therapy room.